Welcome back. In this video, you will learn how you can add data in Google Sheets and create invoices in Stripe for new WooCommerce orders automatically. So this powerful automation is going to create invoices automatically for you and save your time, and also it is going to streamline your data collection process that you have to otherwise do it manually. So guys, this automation is a real time saver and boosts your productivity. So we are going to set up this automation without any coding super simply. So if you want to learn this, stay tuned till the end of this video. Let's get started. To set up the workflow of our automation, we are using Pabbly Connect, which is an integration and automation tool. And to reach this page, you can use the link I have pasted in the description. And from here, you will be signing up for free and you will get free automation tasks every month to test and set up your automations. So guys, sign up right now from the given link, and after that you can sign in to reach the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. From here guys, click on this create workflow button. Here you can provide a suitable name to your workflow. So let me give a name here. So guys, I have given this name. Now you can click on create button and you can see the workflow page is loading up here. And on this page guys, you will find the basic building blocks of our automation, which are the trigger and the actions. So guys, trigger is that event which is going to start the workflow, and the actions are the automated responses of the trigger. In our use case guys, getting a new order on WooCommerce store is going to trigger this workflow, and the actions would be to add the data in Google Sheets and create an invoice in Stripe. So there can be multiple actions for a particular trigger. So here in our use case, the trigger application would be WooCommerce. So search for WooCommerce here. And here you have to select the trigger event as new order created, and it will give you this webhook URL. So on this URL you can get the data from WooCommerce to here in Pabbly Connect. Okay, so you need to add this webhook URL inside the settings section of WooCommerce by following these instructions written here. So let's follow the instructions. You need to open WooCommerce settings first. So this is my WordPress dashboard and this is WooCommerce plugin. From here open the settings. So guys, I'm under the settings page, and here you will find this advanced tab, and when you open advanced you will find this webhooks option available right here. So you have to open webhooks section, and here guys you need to click on this add webhook button. Okay, and another page will open up. Here guys you need to give a name to this webhook connection that you are creating. So you can give any name like this, new hook. Okay, and here you have to make the status of the webhook as active. Then you have to select the topic means you have to select that event on which you want to send the data from WooCommerce to your workflow. So guys, I want that whenever an order has been created in WooCommerce, the data should be sent. So select order created option here, and here you can see it is asking for the delivery URL. So where you want to deliver the data, you have to paste the URL here. So we got our webhook URL. Just click on copy here and paste the URL here in this delivery URL field like this, right? And select the version 3 API version, and then click on save webhook, and you will be connected with WooCommerce. So as the webhook URL is going to be added here, in the response of your workflow you will get this kind of webhook ID response. Here you'll find the new webhook ID. This means the webhook is saved here successfully. Okay, now guys, to get the data of a real order, you need to click on this recapture webhook response button. Click on yes, and it will start waiting for the response again. And now we can perform a test submission. Test submission means now I am going to manually create a test or order from my WooCommerce store. Okay, and that will not be a real order, and the data of that order will be captured here as the test data to set up the automation further. So this is my store page, and these are the products I have added. You can customize your store, but I'm just showing you the demo. And here I'm adding this product to cart. The product's name is iron press, and from this page guys, I'm going to click on proceed to checkout option, and the checkout page will open up. Here guys, you can give any name to this customer or user. So I'm giving the name of the customer as demo customer. Okay, this is the name of the customer. Okay, and here I have added some more details. So here let me just add the email address. Okay, and now I'm going to click on this place order button to place this order. So this test order is not a real order but a test order, and here you can see it just got placed, right? So let's check in our workflow if we have received the response of this order. So guys, we have received the response, you can see, and in this response you will find the data related to the order, which is the amount. Okay, and here you can see the item details. The name of the customer is here, first name, last name, address, code. Okay, and here the payment method, cash on delivery, and everything is captured here. Now guys, for this customer I want to create an invoice, but before that I want to save the data of this order and the customer here in my spreadsheet that I have created in Google Sheets application. So to add this data here, we are going to connect with Google Sheets in this action window, and here I am going to use the action event as add new row. Okay, then click on this connect button. From here select add new connection and then click on sign in with Google. Alright, so it will bring you to this window. From here you have to select your Google account by which you have created the spreadsheet. Then you have to provide some additional access to your account, so just click on continue and you will be connected with Google Sheets like this. Okay, so we are now connected, and here it is asking to select the spreadsheet's name. So the name of my spreadsheet is WooCommerce Store Orders, and here it will show you the list of all your spreadsheets. So select the sheet's name from here, and then it will ask you to select the sheet's name. So I have only one sheet here named as sheet 1, so it will be auto populated like this. And then it will ask you to enter customer name, email, phone number, product name, price. These are nothing but the headers of the columns I have here, you can see. Okay, and to get this data here like this, you need to mention or place the data here in these fields. And guys, we are going to map the data from the trigger step in the second step. So here we have received the data of the customer in the trigger, and to map the data you just have to click on this field and the previous step will appear like this. So you can just search for the name label and it will appear here. So from here just map the name. Okay, like this. This is the customer name. Now let me map the email address. This is it. Similarly, you can find the phone number like this. The product's name, here is the product name, and the price, you can put the price here. Okay, so we are done mapping the details. So when you map the details like this, what will happen? You have to map it only once. After that, in real time the labels will be updated and new data will be sent to the spreadsheet. That's why it is necessary to map the things. Now you can click on save and send test request button, and this data will be sent to the spreadsheet and will be added here as a second row. You can see we got the data. Okay, so this is how it is going to work. Now after sending the data to the spreadsheet, I want to create an invoice in Stripe. So for that, just click here on this plus icon, and here we are going to connect with Stripe. So search for Stripe here. Okay, here it is. Now before creating an invoice in Stripe, we should check that the customer's data is present already in Stripe or not. So first of all, we are going to check that if this customer whose data we have just received is already present or not. So here I am going to use the action event as retrieve a customer by email. Okay, select this option, then click on connect button. From here select add new connection, and here it is asking for the API key of Stripe. So to get this key, you need to open the developer section of Stripe. Let me just show you that. This is my Stripe's homepage. Let me show you that. And here in the top right corner, you can see the developers option. Just click on it and here you will find the API keys tab. Open it, and here you will find the secret key available right here. You can just click on reveal and the key will be revealed. Here you have to copy this key and paste the key here like this, and then click on save, and you will be connected with Stripe, right? And here it will ask you to provide the email address by which you want to search for the customer. So guys, we have received the data here in the first step. So from the first step only, I'm going to map the email label here. Okay, so just search for the email and map it, and then click on save and send test request to see if we have the data of this person. Okay, so here you can see it's showing 0. We don't have the data. Okay, so if we do not have the data, we are going to create the customer first, then we are going to create an invoice item, then we are going to create an invoice. And if the customer exists, we are just going to create an invoice item and the invoice. So there are two conditions. One condition is if the customer is present, other condition is customer does not present. So for these two conditions, we are going to create two different automated routes or automated conditional paths, so that for each condition, different route or path should be executed. For that to happen, just click here on this plus icon and use a feature of Pabbly Connect which is called router. So with the help of router feature, you can create conditional paths according to the conditions that you have. So here you can see it will show you these two default routes for two paths. Now we can configure these two routes by clicking on this set filter and action steps. So first of all, let me just rename these routes to according to the conditions so that you can understand clearly. So the first route is, so guys, I have created renamed the two routes. First route is for the condition that when the customer exists, follow this route, and when does not exist, follow this route. Okay, now first of all, to set up the route when for this condition that the customer exists, we need to get the response here of the condition. So the condition is customer should exist. So here I am going to manually place an email address of that person whose data we have already here inside the customer section of Stripe. So let me just check here. Okay, so here you can see we have a user here, this one. Let's take the example of this one. This is a dummy user, name of the customer, and this is the email address. So I'm just copying the email address and let me just manually paste here. And let me click on save and send test request so that you can see how the response will appear when we actually have the customer in our database. So it will show you the data of the existing customer like this. All the details are here from Stripe. And here you can see we have this data 0 ID label here, which is showing this ID. So this is called as the ID of the customer present in Stripe. So whenever the customer is present in Stripe, we are always going to get this data ID in the response. So here guys, for this first condition, we can click on set filter and action steps, and here we can apply this condition with the help of this filter. Filter is used for applying the condition, and to apply the condition, it is asking to select the label, select the filter type, and put a value here. So when you click here guys, it will show you the previous steps. So from the last Stripe step, I'm going to map this data ID label here, which is showing as the customer ID. And here I'm going to select the filter type as exists. Okay, so this filter is going to see that if this ID label exists in the response or not. And if it exists, that means the customer exists. So click on save and send test request button to check the connection. Here you can see guys, started showing the condition is true. Okay, this means the condition is true, and when the condition meets true, what we want to create a invoice item and an invoice. So add one more action window, and here connect with Stripe once again and use the action event here as create an invoice item. Okay, so before creating invoices, you need to create invoice items. So I have clicked on connect option, and here it is asking you need to create a new connection or use an existing connection. So we are already connected with Stripe in the previous step, so I'm going to use the same existing connection, and here I'm going to click on save and I'll be connected again. No need to fill the API key every time. Okay, and here it is asking what is the customer ID or for which you want to create an invoice item. So guys, map the customer ID from the Stripe retrieve a customer by email step. Okay, if you have the currency details, you can put the currency details here. If you have the quantity, you have, so we actually do have these details from WooCommerce. Only we can map these things. So from WooCommerce you will get the currency details and other details. Let me just see. Here you can see guys, we have this currency label, just map it. Similarly, you will find line item quantity label, map it here. You will find the unit price label here. You can see I have mapped the amount. Okay, so here let me map the total amount one more time. In the description you can map the name of the product. So guys, I have mapped the required details. Okay, now you can click on save and send test request, and a invoice item will be created. You can see guys, we got a item ID, invoice item ID. That means a new item is created in Stripe. Now for this item we can create an invoice. Just click here on this plus icon and connect with Stripe again. Okay, and then use the action event as create an invoice. Click on connect, use existing connection, click on save, and you'll be connected again. And here you can see guys, started asking for the customer ID. So you'll get the customer ID from the third step. Just map this label here, right? And here you can see just showing collection method. So I'm selecting charge automatically. You can select send invoice option as well. But if you want to send the invoice, you need to mention the due date as well. But right now I do not want to mention the due date, so I'm selecting charge automatically. In the description, you can provide the description as invoice for, and here you can map the product name. All right, so here if the product is subscription types, you can provide the subscription ID. Right now I'm leaving it. If you want to auto advance, so it has some advanced features as well. You can use all these things like fee amount, due date, which is required only when we send invoice. Okay, if you want automated taxing, you can make it true or false. Okay, and here are many details, but right now I'm just using the few. Now guys, after mapping the data, you can click on save, and this step will be saved, and this route is completed for this condition that when customer exists. Okay, now you can close this, and similarly you have to create the second route. So need not to create the second route from scratch, just clone this first route. Just click on this three dots and then click on clone option, and then click on clone again, and your second route will be created automatically like this. Okay, it's a cloned step. Now you can delete this third route. It is of no use now, unless you have a third condition available. Okay, and now in the second route, which is for the condition that the customer does not exist, we are going to create a customer first, then we are going to create an invoice item and an invoice. So now this is actual condition of this data that we have received here in the trigger. Here the person's data which we have received is not already present in Stripe's database. So here I'm going to capture the real-time I'm going to map the real data here from the trigger step, and I'm going to show you the response which is going to be generated when we do not have the customer already present. So this is how the response will appear, right? So when you click on set filter and action steps, you will see that in the filter it will show you this kind of error that the data ID is gone now. Okay, no need to worry. So when there is no data ID, what you need to do, you need to create a customer first. So click here on this plus icon just after the filter step, and here connect with Stripe to create a customer first. So select create a customer option, click on connect button, use existing connection, click on save, and here it will ask you to provide the email address. So here you can search for email address. So one more extra step will be added for this condition, that when the customer does not exist, we are going to create the customer first. So here let me just map the name of the customer. Here is the first name. Similarly, you can map the last name as well. The last name is customer. Okay. Phone number, you can map the phone number. Okay, if you have the address details, you can map the address details. Right now I do not have these things, but I do have the country details, which you can find here. Country code, I have mapped the country code. Right, now you can click on save and send test request button, and you will get a fresh customer ID in the response. So here we got the fresh customer ID. Now this ID is going to be mapped in the next steps. Here you can see it's also showing an error because that previous data ID is gone. Now we can map the new ID from the last step, okay, for the new customer. And now you can click on save and send test request button, and invoice item will be generated, and you will get a new item ID here, which you can map in the next step. Here in this step, here you can see it is also not showing the ID. So from the last step, you can map the customer's ID, which is here. Okay, now we are done. You can click on save and send test request button to test your connection with Stripe, and a new invoice, a test invoice will be generated and will be shown here in the invoices section of Stripe. Okay, so let's just check our connection. I'm going to click on save and send test request button, and this is the response we got. Here you can see it started showing a new ID. That means a new invoices has been created. Let's check in our Stripe account. I'm just going to refresh this window, this page, and here you can see, guys, we got a new invoice generated for this person. Okay, you can open it, and you can see the item name. Demo customer was the name of the customer. Iron press is the name, and here is the new invoice. Okay, right, so actually it is showing 4 rupee here. Okay, so it is showing 4 because we have to place 2 extra zeros here, because when it sends the data with the decimal point. Okay, so you need to place 2 extra zeros here. That is not an issue, it will be done. Just put here 2 extra zeros and it will be done. So click on save and send test request here and refresh your workflow, and it will be done. No need to worry. And our workflow is completed, and you have to set up this only once. After that, guys, it is going to trigger automatically whenever there is a new order in WooCommerce. The data will be sent to the spreadsheet automatically, and the invoice according to the conditions will be created in Stripe automatically, and you do not have to do it anything manually. And I'm going to place the link of this workflow in the description so that you can clone this workflow in your own free Pabbly Connect account and start using this automation instantly. Guys, thank you so much for watching our video, and please let us know how our automation ideas are helping you in the comment section. And if you have any queries related to this application, please ask your queries from this forum link, and do check the pricing of this application from this link. And guys, we are open to ideas. If you want us that we should make videos on other aspects of your business, please do let us know in the comment section. And if you like our work, please subscribe to our channel.